S-400 surface-to-air missile system over Western-made alternatives in particular has led to a number of key figures in the United States leadership to call for reprisals against the country for stepping out of line with the West's pressure campaign against Russia, with the U.S. even threatening economic sanctions against the country under the Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, CAATSA, which was signed into effect in August 2017 and imposed penalties on states which made large purchases of Russian weapons. The threat of canceling F-35 deliveries remains a secondary means for the United States to press Turkey to abandon its plans to acquire the S-400 and fall into line with other NATO members. Further complicating Turkey's planned acquisition of the F-35 light fighters to modernize its air fleet, Israel has raised concerns with the United States that should Ankara acquire the stealth fighter it would negate the Israeli Air Force's advantage in a potential conflict between the two powers in the Middle East. Israel has thus requested that the United States, should it proceed with sales of the fighters, should deny the Turkish military the latest software for the stealth fighters, thus ensuring a continued Israeli advantage while providing Turkey with a downgraded variant of the F-35. A number of Turkish sources have indicated that as a result of threats by the U.S. to cancel the sale of the F-35, Ankara could acquire the Russian Su-57 fifth-generation air superiority fighter in its stead. By canceling the F-35, not only would the United States lose one of its oldest clients for combat aircraft, but Israel, Greece and other potential Turkish adversaries would also find themselves facing a considerably more dangerous Turkish air fleet than they would have had Ankara purchase the American stealth fighter. While the Su-57 and the F-35 are both fifth-generation fighters, the two are hardly comparable in their role or their capabilities. The F-35, designed as a lighter and less costly complement to the elite F-22 Raptor air superiority fighter, a platform no longer in production and banned from export, and itself lacks the specialization of heavier fighters and retains poor air-to-air combat capabilities. The Su-57 by contrast was designed as a heavy twin-engine air superiority platform, much like the F-22, and was intended to contend with American Raptors over Europe and the Pacific. Much like the F-22 Raptor is considerably more capable in an air-to-air combat role than the F-35, with the latter maintaining only limited defensive air-to-air combat capabilities, the Su-57 too retains a considerable advantage over the F-35 in the air. This is reflected in its speed, altitude, sensors, missile carriage, engagement range, and maneuverability, all fields in which the heavier Russian fighter is far superiority. Turkey's Air Force today fields a sizable light fighter fleet, comprised of approximately 250 F-16 and 40 F-5 multi-role platforms. The country's air superiority capabilities however leave much to be desired, with the Vietnam War-era third-generation F-4E Phantom remaining the country's fastest, highest-flying and most heavily armed platform and its only heavy fighter. While the F-35 would provide a considerably more modern light fighter for the Turkish fleet, it is arguably the country's air superiority capabilities which are most in need of improvement, hence why the Su-57 could be the ideal platform for Turkey. While a fourth-generation air superiority platform such as the F-15C or Su-30 would be sufficient to considerably enhance Turkish air superiority capabilities, a more advanced fifth-generation heavy platform would provide the country with the most capable air superiority fighter in the Middle East or Europe. The Su-57 can also be equipped to function as a high-end strike fighter, deploying advanced munitions such as the Drill Fire and Forget glide bomb, the Kh-59 Mk2 cruise